the dealer voice is possibly one of the best voices in video games. Right up there with the narrator from Darkest Dungeon. Temperance. During the worst famine in the history of the Empire, an unnatural power is causing the dead to rise and stalk the land. Food shortage. This famine has made food scarce. Avoid starvation. Destroy the source of the undead. Okay. So that means I'm gonna need some items that stave hunger, perhaps. The old maiden. No, this is... Again, this auto-recommendation stuff is kind of a pain in the dick. Alright. Let's see, what... supplies, food... What's good versus skeletons in this game? Does anyone know? Maybe like a fucking hammer? Anything's good against skeletons? Alright, well, we'll do the Berserker, and then I'm gonna have the, what's this one? The Far North. Interesting. Let's see, which ones have tokens? The Hoarfrost Trial. Trade food. No, we don't want to do that. Yeah, I definitely don't want to do that one. At some point, I'm gonna have to do all of their stories, so maybe I'll bring someone different with me this time. Maybe I'll bring,
Even the Empire turns against itself.
Ashraya, as people have told me. That's her name. And then, I gotta get her card. Which one is that? The Peasant King. Trade food. Deadly Forest again. Caravan Robbery I can bring back. Interception's new. Tasha's is new. Dark Alleys, I don't think I want that one. I'm gonna do the Caravan Robbery. Trade food, gain food, that's good. Fallen Treasure is kind of alright. Temple Prayers... Yeah. There's gain food on this one. Upgrade equipment from the Mage's Workshop. That sounds like fun. The Empire's Fort. I'm gonna go for the non... Let's go for new. Anything that gives food would be great. Bitter Winter, Exploring the Wilds. Fabled Beast. Inn by the Sea sounds like an interesting encounter. Let's do that. I hope that trade food thing doesn't turn out to be a bunch of poop. There's also a ring. The Ring of Food. This has got food gain. It says here... Yeah, that's good. And then I have another ring, right? I have a thing of famine. A ring of famine. A thing of famine. Harvest blade. Let's get rid of the Dark Thirst. Put the Coward's Bane in there. Or I think it's a helmet of famine. Jeez, I have too many fucking item cards now. It prevents you from starving to death, is really the important thing here. It's the Ring of Food, so wait, I have that then. But this doesn't prevent me from starving to death. The Pious Robe. Thank you. What's this? Okay, that's good. Armor of Gluttony is fine. I'll put the Pious Robe in. Just for shits and giggles. we're good, right? So we got plenty of decent cards here. I hope I know how to play the game after all this time,
The
for fuck's
Empire
sake.
works against its own people, yet none of it matters. There will be no uprising as long as they are fed. Yet, take away their bread, and even the most peaceful begin to consider the songs of revolt.
The innkeeper joins you at your table. I have some information. The Reaper was paid up front by a halfling known as Garrick Drauken. The price was apparently an entire cartload of gold. He made the contract and then left the city. Garrick, a mercenary. He was employed by the Imperial Army for several years until they wiped out the Halfling's kingdom. Or Halfling kingdoms. Multiple, plural. Since then, he works for the highest bidder. He was last seen on the road to Bridgemore Village, a farming village in an outer province. Yeah, the whole area is up in arms with this famine going on. If you want my advice, the innkeeper offers, you should leave the city. Forget this life of death and glory. Find peace in whatever far-off land you can, before your enemies catch up with you. Who knows what calamity will befall when they find out where you're still alive and stuff like that. Good.
Hunger. It chews at you. This whole land is starving, and you are left with only hard choices.
You wake one night to the sound of rustling. With a start, you realize that there are thieving hands pilfering your supplies. You lunge to the closest thief. -3 food.
I'm not a vain man. You must appreciate that this game, has been my focus for more years than I can count. I have a certain pride regarding its twists and turns.
Shit. The fiends get away with 3 of your food, leaving you shaking your fist in rage, like a rat in a cage. Receive +2 food after every dice gambit. That sounds good. If your max life is less than 150, you may discard food gain or equipment gain to receive max life. No. Gain +15 fame until you lose any gambit, then discard this card. We gotta get the food. Someone in chat just said, why you losers want to help him so badly? Would it be funnier to fuck him over? Thanks. That's nice to hear. Well, this game is hard, and it fucks me over plenty as is. This isn't Cluster Truck. It's not gonna be funny to waste all of our time. Do you know what I mean? I mean, it's up to you. You vote however you want. You vote however you want. But I'm just saying, I've been streaming this game for a couple weeks now, and it's fucking hard. The help is appreciated.
Failed them. The land itself has failed them.
No, if you wanted to fuck me over, you could. I wouldn't turn the feature off, but if it cost me, like, matches over and over again, then yeah, I would probably have no choice because the game is difficult. Do you know what I mean? You are surrounded by hungry, armed villagers. A few push forward to confront you while many more hang back out of harm's way. You must have something for us to eat! Every food you donate will feed 2 angry villagers. I have no food. I'm sure you're being truthful, a bald man begins, but if you could just turn out your pockets to convince the others. Try to push my way through. Crowd moves forward, tearing at your clothes and packs. Oh. Oh my god. Oh my god. Oh my god! You do what you can to protect yourself without hurting anyone and flee. You hope that they manage to find food somewhere, somehow. You lose Estrella for 3 turns. Jesus Christ. I mean, they're threatening violence. You know what I mean? Fucking hell. I don't know what to do now. Give me 1 second, guys. Alright. I can't buy the ring of food. As much as I would like that. I might be able to sell something. I have not a whole lot to sell. So never mind.
It is not too late to plan better.
The peasants of Farwater go about their day oblivious to the Empire army that's approaching. I don't have her for that. No.
Here's a token for you, if you can earn it.
The peasants of Farwater go about their day oblivious to the approaching Empire. Right. But she's not back yet.
Seek,
now she is.
but do not starve.
I don't have food to trade, so I can't do that card anyway, so fuck it. An uneasy silence fills the air on a moonlit night, prompting you to continue your journey without stopping to camp. Although you keep one hand on your weapon for the entire journey, nothing reveals itself as a threat.
The well-fed are unpredictable. The hungry always seek a meal, through force if necessary.
You're surrounded by hungry, armed villagers. A few push forward to confront you while many more hang back out of harm's way. Please, my children are starving! I have no food. The mob disperses slowly. Okay, well they saw that I didn't have food.
Starvation has been the end of many adventurers.
You follow a trail of hearsay to an inn in the town of Elderos. The barkeep introduces himself as Hervey and says, Father Galfrey mentioned that you were a keen thief, so I have a lucrative proposition for you. A new reeve is to be elected. I intercepted the letter and made an adjustment to include myself, the great Hervey of Elderos. All I'd like you to do is get this list into the messenger's hands without him noticing. He hands you a sealed scroll. When the messenger arrives, he rests his satchel on the stool beside him. Just drop my gold. He gets off his stool and begins to help you gather your coins.
The pendulum swings like a scythe, bearing hope or failure.
Wow, why would I do that? Stupid.
What an unfortunate time for your skills to leave you.
Yeah. A peasant joins the messenger on the floor and then runs out of the inn with half your gold. In the confusion, the messenger decides to leave after helping you gather the rest of your gold. Hervey shakes his head. You're the worst thief I've ever seen.
What do you think happens to the mind when one returns from death in this way? What happens to the heart?
One night, you wake to the sound of a rusty wagon wheel passing on a nearby trail. Cautiously, you sneak closer to observe the scene. A drudge of skeletons is slowly dragging a wagon full of corpses through the forest. They seem oblivious to your presence as they continue their journey. I'm gonna follow them. After tedious hours trailing the macabre band, Macabre Hearts Club band, you approach a hill far from any settlement. Atop the hill stands a stone circle marked with eldritch runes. Skeletons drag their prized haul into the center. A sudden flash of blinding light forces you to look away. When your vision returns, the circle is empty, apart from an abandoned wagon. Guess following wasn't the best idea.
Storm and troubles in the north. So it begins.
You enter a tavern as a storm lights up the night sky. The bar is packed with fellow travelers seeking respite from the weather. As you make yourself comfortable in a relatively dry corner, a band of northern raiders kick in the doors. Prepare your souls for cleansing, godless heathens! You ready your weapon. Honest, hard-working Scutals. My character does not look intimidating. There are subtle weapons, there are weapons for the delicate and skilled hands, and then there is this. The special is just pound. It's just hammer pound. It's not a subtle weapon. In any way, shape, or form. Shit. Please give me food. The Northerners retreat into the storm. The innkeeper serves a round of drinks in your honor. Here, an old soldier left this with me before renouncing his adventuring for good. I want you to have it. Ah. Okay. Yeah, let's use this. And some food. Cool, thanks chat. You wake one night to the sound of rustling. With a start, you realize that there are thieving hands pilfering your supplies. God damn it, I just got food. Got one back at least.
Let's see what you do with that, given your position.
The thief is long gone, but you manage to grab their companion and demand compensation. You easily hoist your attacker off their feet. They're no common bandit. You're face to face with a dirty, sickly child. Please, he stammers. They can't feed us at home. We have to take what we can just to survive. No. You send the child on his way with a stern warning and a threatening swing of your weapon. Your karma decreases by 4,000. You are attacked by the reanimated corpses of recently deceased peasants.
Your artifact
Hungry
is empty
peasants.
now and will be of little use to you here.
You know, you gotta teach the kids a lesson. If hunger doesn't, then my blade will. Archer's Bane. There are none so hated by the infantry as archers. Small wonder this weapon is prized by them.
Overwhelm them. On my mark.
I love the way these boners scream. Okay, so, lose 1 max life instead of taking starvation damage. That is really good. And this one is optionally discard any non-food gain card to receive +2 food. I can't wear this yet, I need more fame, but I'm gonna take this. You leave the broken bones of peasants scattered across the field and continue your quest.
Now would be a good time to buy some food.
Yeah, I would love to do that. I kinda can't afford any food.
Here.
$1 gold for an empty vial. So I'm gonna sell the hammer. $8 gold for 1 food. Can't justify that. I'm gonna have to just keep going. Trade equipment for food. God damn it! And that was a fucking paltry amount of gold that I got,
A
too.
balance of resources is key. No one wants to perish wealthy, but starving.
You're surrounded by hungry, armed villagers. I have no food. They disperse. To your surprise, you chance upon a wooden cart stacked with pies and fruit. Your stomach rumbles at the sight. Hungry peasants surround the cart, counting their coins worryingly. You sense that the prices may be quite steep. The old farmer hawks his wares to passerby. Tarts, pies, and exotic fruits! I'm gonna buy pie. Passes you a garlic and cheese pie from his wagon. Ugh. As always, the pies have been selling steadily today. Chester considers his coin chest for a while, before he decides on a price. $10 gold for 8 food. That's excellent, considering 1 food was going for 8 coin. Chester passes you the pie. He then moves on to another customer. Sorry chum. Times are tough. I've got to give everybody a fair share. Finally some food. You're surrounded by hungry, armed villagers. If you push forward, here we go. I'm gonna donate some. Let's see what the chat thinks. Yeah, all right. I can spare some food. You hand out some food. A few villagers grab what they can and run off. Having dealt with those villagers who were the most aggressive or desperate, the remaining mob reluctantly allows you to leave. Okay, that's just being able to live. Although you keep one hand on your weapon for the entire journey, nothing reveals itself as a threat.
She smells death upon you. Death promised but not delivered. Death whose time has been delayed.
The sky is unnaturally dark as you approach the ruined graveyard. A cloaked figure stands amid the crumbling tombstones. Despite your stealthy approach, it turns to watch your arrival.
The living have no place here,
she rasps, the breath leaving her body with some effort.
though you will make fine source material for another minion.
She raises her staff and undead rise from the ground. That is a horrible necromancer voice that I'm doing. This death mage turns the dead into tools of chaos and slaughter. Use bash to break through her gruesome armor.
They will forge any alliance to stop us.
Tools of chaos and laughter. I'm like having a hard time blocking. I'm trying to break the bone shield in case you're wondering what the fuck is happening. It's a little tedious. I was pressing the bash button. That was the bash button. Okay. Also, I understand how bad you guys want to see the vote go into a negative. I know that sounds like a great idea and you'd have a lot of fun. I would recommend maybe find someone else who's streaming this, or maybe do your own stream of it. Or if not, I'll just turn off Twitch voting. Maybe we could take a vote on that. But since I've done this, from the beginning, people have voted positive. So, I mean, I don't know. I mean, trying to influence all the people in the chat to try to do something like a negative vote, that's gonna be tough. You know what I mean? Smoking ash is all that remains of the necromancer as you inspect the contents of the crypts. There you find letters written and signed with the Emperor's seal, each one calling for your death. What have you done to earn the Emperor's wrath? As if in answer, the voice of the hermit rings in your ears.
It is not what you have done, but what you are yet to do. A powerful force presses against you, and every move takes you closer to the end of the game. You have few friends now.
I feel that way sometimes. Oh, I did it?
This is what we seek to eradicate. These creeping horrors that stretch across our land.
That was a quick one. And I got the gold one, too. I don't really get a whole lot else, but, I mean, as long as it's done and I got a gold, that's great. That was a quick one, so... Devil. No companion. 4 lives hang in the balance as a mysterious stranger offers help for a price. Be prepared for chance cards. Prepare for combat against the Empire. This is good against the Empire. And this is all stuff I can start with. start with a shitty helmet. Upgrade it. Okay. Platinum cards unlimited. Goblin Town. You can't manage gold at this time? What does that mean? I don't know what that means. Fabled Beast. Try that. Thomas the Ogre. You don't have the cards needed. Oh, okay. That's what they're saying. That's weird. I guess we'll try it with whatever cards I have and hope for the best. Empire's Burden. Bring that. Bring that. If there's a lot of chance cards, avoid failure. So bring that. Try to get a ring in here that has... I'm not sure. So I definitely want stuff that's good against the Empire, so that I'm probably going to want that hammer. And just for the sake of variety, I'm probably going to bring...
I guess
kind of like the Archer's
is
Bane.
one of your favorites. I don't see the appeal.
The wheel nudge on Grifter's Ring. Seems good. Yeah, am I using... Is it wheel? It's chance cards, though. I need things that can help with the chance cards. Let's see. I already got a shitty leather helmet. Let's see, type resources, gambits. Oh, I see. Oh, okay, I have all the chance card. That's there you go. I really got to use these filters a lot more. The platinum cards are unlimited, yeah. I guess I'm just gonna bring another random ring. Like, maybe this one for dice. It's fine. Alright.
Those who travel with you are more than mere pawns in this story. They have their own goals and their own needs. Yet their stories have ended, or they would be here by your side, would they not?
You arrive at a tavern one evening, anxious to settle beside a roaring fire with your companions. As you enter, however, you're surprised to find no familiar faces. After a meal, and several hours of waiting alone, a priest rushes in. Your friend Ariadne lies stricken at our temple. You arrive at the temple to find Ariadne lying on a simple bed, attended to by a church official. He explains that she has been stricken with dark magic that is slowly draining her life. Somehow this malady resists our attempts at curing, the official says sadly. It's as if her very soul were poisoned. I'm sorry, that time is limited. The official leaves, shaking his head. It's not my place to say, the young cleric whispers, but perhaps there are other places you may seek help. In my work helping northern refugees, I have heard tales of their high priestess, a mystic of sorts who moves freely between the realm of men and the world beyond. If anyone could help your friend, it would be her. You know that the northerner priestess will not see you unless you possess enough blessings, but you have few options. With the young cleric's help, you ready Ariadne for transport and leave the temple. Shit, if I knew I needed blessings, that would have been... changed the cards up a bit. You find the weapon merchant's carriage parked behind a seedy tavern. Okay, I did this one already, I'm not gonna read it. That's good. Do that one. Armed with your new equipment, you bid Esmeralda good evening and continue your journey.
Given times are so dark, you are lucky to have allies willing to assist.
You're walking past a black, plain-looking carriage when the door suddenly opens and a huge pair of hands lift you inside. The carriage leaps forward as the door is shut and you find yourself sprawled on a seat opposite a huge, powerfully built but unusually ugly man. Lord Apollyon requests your presence. Oh. Lord Apollyon requests your presence, the half-ogre declares. The creature is silent the rest of the journey until you arrive at an impressive manor house. You exit the carriage and are brought into a large hall for an audience with Lord Apollyon. Ah, the great adventurer himself! Apollyon begins, smiling broadly and stepping forward to greet you. He bows slightly. I'll greet him graciously. I've heard of your exploits. I, too, am but a servant of the Empire and its people. I'd like to offer my services if you ever have need of them. I don't presume to wield a sword or dodge a claw troll as well as you, of course, but I do try to support good people with supplies and such, especially heroic figures such as yourself. Apollyon invites you to stay and entertain him with stories of your adventures so far. He seems captivated by every word and several hours pass quickly. You lead an incredible life! I hope you return again soon with more enchanting tales. Apollyon takes an item from many adorning the walls, saying, Please accept this paltry gift. Perhaps it will help you rescue your friend. Cool. Allow my coachman to take you back. And please come visit again anytime. Okay. He's just there? Guess that's fine. I don't know what his purpose might be, but... Okay. Green lanterns cast the streets in a murky light. We've done this one before. Let's visit, and now we can collect some gold. A dusty goblin wearing a pinty hat peers down at you from a tall bureau. And, basically he's just giving out some gold. Wow. 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 Let's go to Goblin Town. Oh, shit. Huge failure. Out of the way! Out of the way! Two goblins carrying a towering cake come rushing through the street to you. Leap out of the way, twisting your ankle on a crooked cobblestone. Emergency horns blare in alarm through the city, reverberating off the cavern walls. You pack your things and hurry toward the nearest exit. Out of the way. Am I not wearing the thing? Oh, I need fame for that.
You must ponder the ties that begin to bind. The trap is slowly laid for you.
You cross the northern border and prepare yourself for the long journey up Mount Freitas. You are surprised, however, to find a band of northern warriors waiting for you. The High Priestess is expecting you, the leader of the band declares. Wait, he says, stopping to peer at you intently. Her shadowness, Queen of Frost, cannot abide the presence of the impure. You cannot enter the ritual house without sufficient sacred blessings. I need 4 more blessings.
Devils wait in the darkness, but which devil will you focus on?
As you pass near a darkened alleyway one evening, a blackened and misshapen hand grasps you, pulling you close to the darkness.
You stand at the precipice of ruin. The Dark Lord has taken an interest in your destiny, and even now is engineering your downfall.
The hunched creature pulls you with surprising strength further into the shadows.
But I can help. There is a magic that I can help you... there is a magic that can help you beat him at his own game. We can craft it, you and I. Doing so may test your spirit, but that's better than eternal darkness, hey?
He looks up at you, his yellow eyes glowing faintly.
Do not fall to despair. We will meet again soon.
I trust him.
You have to wonder why anyone would help you. At least my motives are clear.
You return to the fine mansion of Lord Apollyon and are granted an immediate audience. How goes your quest to save Ariadne? Lord Apollyon asks. Explain that you lack the blessings required.
Perhaps I could be of some assistance. I must confess that I have a weakness for games of chance.
Apollyon leads you to a table in another room. A set of cards is already set out upon it.
If you win, then I will provide the blessings you require.
Apollyon nods as he adds,
Yes, I have the means. You'd be surprised what magical trinkets end up in my possession as part of my work. If I win, then you must pose for me with my next portrait. It will be titled Champions of the Empire. Perhaps I shall have a statue of us made as well.
He gestures for you to sit.
I'll even stack the deck in your favor, after all. I enjoy the excitement of the game and care little for actually winning.
Okay.
I'm sure you'll do well.
Apollyon smiles.
Now, just take your pants off, okay? Well done.
Apollyon claps in appreciation.
I think you've played this game before.
He gestures to a darkly robed man, who you failed to notice standing in a shadowed corner. The man comes to stand before you, his deep voice slowly intoning words in a foreign tongue.
My associate is a follower of an ancient religion that you may not be familiar with, but rest assured that his devotion is second to none.
As you sit through the lengthy ritual, you feel yourself drifting in and out of consciousness. Whether from the droning voice or the potent incense being burned, you cannot say. There we go. Wow. You suddenly awake, Apollyon watching you with mild amusement from across the table.
I expect you'll want to begin your journey to the High Priestess immediately. I sincerely hope your friend makes a full recovery.
I feel like that was too easy, and now the dude, like, owns my likeness. You cross the northern border and prepare yourself for the long journey up Mount Freitas. You'll meet again with a band of northern warriors who wait to escort you up the mountain. With their guidance and protection, you quickly find yourself once more in the ritual house of Vinesauce. I know why you've come, the giantess begins, moving to inspect Ariadne. She quickly sneers, saying, It's no wonder your holy people cannot heal her. This is no minor curse or spell from a magician. A beast of the underworld has tainted your friend's spirit, and without my help she will die. Vinesauce pauses to consider you, her gaze boring into your soul. I think your fate will be to one day destroy the one who brings ruin to my people. Until then, the enemy of my enemy is my friend, yes? The Queen of Frost sends you to another room as she prepares a ritual. Many hours later, you are summoned again. You find the Queen standing over Ariadne, who, apart from being famished, appears fully recovered. Leave when you are ready, Esmeranthia declares, turning to leave. But heed my warning, hero. A shadow hangs over your soul. Stray but a little, and you will fall. And fail, to the ruin of us all. Maleklips told me he was going to the village of... Maleklips told me he was going to the village of Rumstock to investigate a rumor of a magical artifact. Ariadne explains as you leave the ritual house. I was to meet him there some days ago.
I cannot understand how you come to be here now, given the challenges that have stood before you.
As you journey towards Rumstock, you are disquieted by an increasing number of rumors concerning the village. It seems that every traveler coming from that direction has heard of a terrible, ritualistic murder being performed in the woods nearby. Multiple murders, in fact. The rumors also suggest that the mage responsible has been captured. Disguised himself as a bard, one fellow declares. I saw him with my own eyes! He's got the look of a killer! Don't worry, continues the man. There'll be justice served for poor souls. Those poor souls when that necromancer burns at the stake. But that's my guy. That's Maleklips. He's not a necromancer.
Some weapons, this one included, require a great hero to carry them.
Well, I can wear this now, at least. You are camped on the side of the road one moonless night when a familiar pair of yellow eyes suddenly appears beyond the light of the campfire. You have glimpsed your doom, I take it. The curse is in the cards, you know. He limps from the shadows to sit next to you, although somehow the fire fails to illuminate his form at all. The spell that will be your salvation requires several unique ingredients, the cloaked figure explains. The first task will be to harvest the horn of a diabolic creature. I know of one that will be easy to overcome, he says, producing a silver whistle from his cloak. Strike quickly, though, he pauses to add, or it may escape, and you will spend countless lifetimes regretting it. The whistle releases a sharp note, and a fiery portal appears between the two of you. A short, horned creature steps out as the portal closes again. Hey, Theophilus, you cold? The devil asks, looking up at him. The child-sized creature seems oblivious to your presence for the moment. Shit. Okay, let's ask. What? You want my horn? The little devil exclaims, looking around. You brought me here so this mortal could harvest my horn? I thought you were my friend! Let's talk to the little devil. Little devil disappears in a puff of smoke and ash. Theophilus shakes his head with a sigh. You have cost me, mortal, but any punishment I inflict would be nothing compared to your fate now. He clicks his fingers and you suddenly wake up alone by the side of the road.
Everything is a wager, but our difference is that we understand the game must have rules and definitions if it is to bind.
Well, I wanted to be nice to the little devil, because he was a devil, and obviously you want to be nice to, like, little Satans. But it was my idea to go along with the vote. I just really wanted to see what would happen if I could maybe, like, convince the devil. But I guess now I'm just gonna get, like, eternally skull-fucked. I don't know. You enter a tavern one evening just as a gang of soldiers rise angrily from a table, leaving just a well-dressed civilian seated.
You cheating son of Harpy!
One of them calls.
Gentlemen, please, I cannot help it if Lady Luck has taken to me this fine evening. Nobody's that lucky!
A soldier exclaims, drawing his sword. The other soldiers advance around the table. The unarmed man suddenly leaps from his chair and ducks behind you, saying,
Mercenary, I implore you, I am a humble and honest merchant in need of aid!
Save me from this band of treacherous fiends, whom I have offended merely by playing fairly a number of games of chance, and I'll pay you with gold.
Hey, that's our gold, Hansel!
The soldiers cry. Hansel runs and hides behind the bench, his money bags clinking loudly as the battle begins. Guess I'll just get skull-fucked for the rest of eternity. It's just like one dude. Having dealt with the threat of the vengeful soldiers, you turn to find lucky Hansel lying behind the bench, a northerner warrior crouched over him.
A man who cheats has no honor,
a northerner says, matter-of-factly, sheathing his knife and hefting the merchant's money bags.
He will not cheat me again.
The northerner moves to the exit the tavern, gold in hand. Jeez. Let's search.
Well done.
You discover Hansel to be wearing an item that might explain his recent run of good luck. Oh. It's interesting that it was that item in particular. At the sound of more Empire soldiers approaching, you decide to follow the Northerner's example and exit discreetly. You return to the fine mansion of Lord Apollyon and are granted an immediate audience. Ah, you say that another of your friends is in peril, Lord Apollyon remarks. How fascinating! You relate some detail as to Malek's situation. We live in dangerous times indeed, Apollyon says, shaking his head. I see you still bear the marks of battle yourself, Apollyon remarks, sending his butler for a healing potion. Oh, I don't like this dude. Do you have a plan to save Malek? Lord Apollyon asks. You explain that you have not yet visited the village of Rumstock to assess the situation. I expect you'll want to travel there immediately. In order to save your friend, would you like transport there? Nope. As you wish, Apollyon says. Well, I won't delay you any further. Good luck in your quest.
So the noose begins to tighten, and we question the very stakes.
I should have fucking took the offer from that little devil, because that little devil is probably like the savior, and Apollyon is the scum. That's my guess. You arrive on the outskirts of the village Rumstock, where Malek is being held captive. A wooden stake with brushwood piled around it stands in the village center. A few peasants stand around, talking eagerly about the impending doom of the so-called necromancer. You track down the town mayor who, despite your pleas, refuses to consider sparing the mage's life. The creature is bound, head to toe in blessed iron. He'll stay that way until burning under a full moon. Good, decent folk from this town have been murdered, and I will see to it that they receive justice. You plead Malek's innocence.
And who are you that we should listen? The mayor exclaims. It will take more than the word of a nameless mercenary to free this creature of darkness. There you go, there's your negative options, everybody. Have fun. You return to the fine mansion of Lord Apollyon and are granted an immediate audience. How goes your quest to save Malek? Lord Apollyon asks. I have the situation under control. Really? He asks, surprised. Well, that is good news. He sits enthralled as you give a detailed account of your adventure so far. I must attend to some pressing business now, but please visit any time and let me know if you ever need assistance. I have no choice but to take... No. I have no choice but to take this dude's help. Those dreadful peasants in the provinces can be savage folk, Apollyon declares, but I have a solution. If you will but play the cards once more. If you win, then I will use my considerable influence to spread word of your great deeds and service to the people. Bards will sing your praises across the empire. The rabble love nothing more than a hero, a real defender of the people, Apollyon exclaims dryly. If it helps, I'll even have my personal herald accompany you. Your needs are more particular in this case, so I must insist that you up your ante. If I win, you must stay and entertain my guests with tales of your adventures. What do you say? Guess we have no choice. Jesus. Wow. I had everything in my favor for that, and I still ended up failing once. Another win, Apollyon exclaims. You are adept at both combat and the finer arts. I shall make plans with my associates tonight to support your cause, Apollyon declares. By the time you reach Rumstock, your name will be legend.
Show your worth through action.
At your approach, a woman, at your approach, whoa, voice. At your approach, a woman tending her garden spots you. She sends her child to fetch the mayor, and minutes later, a throng of other villagers approach, led by a balding man. Look, someone calls out, the hero of the empire is in our village! You're here for the demon, of course, the mayor says as he approaches. You must have heard that we captured it ourselves, the peasants all cheer. Don't worry, the mayor continues. We intend to burn it during the full moon. You ask the mayor to take you to Malek, who you find sitting in a small cell bound in silver chains set with glowing runes. With some effort, you manage to convince the mayor to release him into your custody for proper disposal. I'm sure you know best when it comes to creatures of the underworld, the mayor says, but we have the fire planned. And everybody is coming. Perhaps you could stay just until the full moon? He asks hopefully, as you lead Malek away. At the edge of the village, the mayor reluctantly removes Malek chains and stands well back as you leave. Thanks, Malek says. Those country folk weren't kidding around. He goes on to relate how he was set upon as he entered the village, being accused for some local murders involving magic. It sure seemed that they knew I was coming. And where did they get all those anti-magic chains from? You fill Malek in on what was happening, or what happened to Ariadne. What about Estrella and Kolbjorn? I can't pronounce it, he asks as you begin your journey back towards the capital.
So many enemies await you, and so many would stop you moving forward. Palpatine's behind it all. The next day you stop to rest at a small inn.
there are few other patrons as you consume a sparse meal before retiring to your room. Moments later, you hear a noise at the window. It suddenly opens, allowing a hooded stranger to slip inside. "Relax your sword arm, mercenaries," the woman exclaims, warding you away with an open hand. "I seek only to deliver a message. That to your colleague, Kolbjorn, who's been acquired by the guild." "You see," she continues, leaning against the windowsill, "with recent setbacks to our income potential, we've had to expand our enterprise with kidnapping and so on, and a rival tribe has an impressive bounty on your friend's head. It's all just business. For only 150 gold, you can buy your friend's life back. Bring the gold to the East Market Square and someone will contact you. Otherwise, well, I can't say how he'll be treated by those barbarians," the cloaked woman says as she ducks back out of the window, vanishing into the darkness once more. Jeez. All my companions, man.
Of course, in a world that has lost all of its wonder, violence, muscle, and brute strength still remain. So like the usurper in all its ways.
You were cautiously approached on the trail by a group of farmers. "Greetings, friend," one of them begins. "Are you in need of supplies?" The group explains that an evil ogre has stockpiled rations in his cave not far away. They intend to fight the creature and retrieve the goods to feed their families. "Would you be willing to tag along for an equal share of the food?" "Yes." You set out at once to the ogre's lair. Along the way, they explain exactly what sort of beast is awaiting you. "Oh, it's huge and nasty," the taller farmer says. "My cousin saw it eat 5 live chickens in a single bite while it was stealing his cows." Listen to more stories, I guess. "The mayor went to visit his prize-winning horse last week and found nothing in the stall but a torn saddle," your companion exclaims. "Not a drop of blood. The beast must have picked it up and taken it home to eat." Ignore. The monster's lair is just up ahead, one of the farmers comments sometime later. "Is it now?" a deep voice inquires as the monster in question strolls into view. The speechless farmers hastily retreat as the ogre stops and inspects you. "My name is Thomas, and this is my domain. What business have you here?" Demand that he returns the stolen food. "I have stolen no goods from these humans. What food I possess I've earned with my own hands in this forest. Your desperation does not give you the right to take what is rightfully mine." The farmers manage to find their voices, throwing all manner of accusations at Thomas, who merely shakes his head in response. "Believe what you will, warrior, but know that I will defend my home. My swamp!" He lifts his weapon purposefully, saying, "I may be more reasonable than most of my kin, but thought without action is pointless after all." Refuse to fight. "What?" the farmers cry, incredulously. "Are you siding with this hulking monster?" Despite their outrage and frustration, the farmers can do little but give up and return home. "A reasonable human," Thomas comments, turning to you. "You are indeed a rare beast. Still be under warranty." He gestures to a waterfall behind him. "My dwelling lies beyond the waterfall. Would you care to join me for a game? I have few visitors of your intellectual caliber. IQ of 10,000! I may have a magical trinket that I would be willing to bet against you, just to make things interesting. Except..." You follow the ogre back to his lair and sit at a stone table opposite him. "What takes your interest today? Cards? Dice?" Dice.
Back to the bones. I hope you have learned to be their master.
23? Holy shit. You play the game well. I will have to do better in the future, Thomas admonishes himself. He reaches behind the table and lifts an item, saying,
Would this be of any use to you?
I don't think I want to equip the thing, but it's good. Perhaps another game. Let's play a card game. Oh, this one kind of sucks. Nice.
Perhaps I've grown lax from sitting in my forest by myself for too long,
Thomas grumbles.
Here, do any of these interest you?
Definitely want that. Perhaps another game. Manual dexterity.
Nicely timed.
This poor ogre is taking all his shit.
Again?
Thomas suddenly yells, slamming his hand against the stone table.
Do you think me a fool? You must be cheating! Get out, you scoundrel, and tell those idiot friends of yours that if I see anyone in my forest again, I might just have to pull you all for dinner!
Literally. I couldn't... Doing that voice, it was like... Yeah, it was hiccups, man. There were some hiccups going on in there. Couldn't read it. Oh god, I have hiccups. Oh Jesus. Pull you all for dinner. Totally incorrect. You are camped on the side of the road one moonless night when a familiar pair of yellow eyes suddenly appears behind the light of the campfire.
You have glimpsed your doom, I take it. The curse is in the cards, you know.
He limps from the shadows to sit next to you, although somehow the fire fails to illuminate his form at all. Okay. He wants to do this again. Let's strike the creature. With a mighty blow to the head, you knock the devil unconscious. Soon, you have removed one of the beast's horns and handed it to Theophilus, who places it in a sack made from the same dark material as his cloak. The next step is normally as difficult to achieve as obtaining a devil horn, but luck is with us again. The agent of your downfall has provided us with exactly what we need. He gestures, and your skin begins to glow. To possess so many blessings is rare for a mortal. I shall add their power to the mix. Theophilus opens a small vial towards you, and with a sickening tug, you feel some part of you torn away. How many do I have to remove? Damn. This will do nicely, Theophilus says with a satisfaction as he seals the urn. Never lose hope, mortal, he calls as he returns to the river. The Dark One may still lose his prize yet. I could sell some equipment. God knows I have enough of it. Want to get 150. I'm considering selling Hretha's ire. Oh, but I'm gonna get 20 from the chat, so I kind of don't need to do that. I'll sell the Archer's Bane. That should be good. Oh god, no, this guy again. You say that another of you say that another of your friends is in peril, Lord Apollyon remarks. How fascinating! You relate some details as to Kol'Jorn's situation. We live in dangerous times indeed, Apollyon says, shaking his head. How goes your quest to save Kol'Jorn? Apollyon asks. Say that you do have the gold. Really? He asks, surprised. Well, that is good news. He sits enthralled as you give a detailed account of your adventure so far. I know this is lame as fuck, but sorry. Let's see what happens when I pay the thing off myself.
In times of trouble,
Kol'Jorn.
tables are turned.
You find yourself in the eastern district of the capital, approaching the markets. The Thieves Guild would undoubtedly find you there and demand the ransom gold. Let's approach. You enter into a wide courtyard filled with stalls and milling citizens. Within moments, you are roughly drawn into a shady corner, protected from prying eyes by a variety of hanging carpets. Hello again, the cloaked woman begins brightly, her two beefy companions silently taking position on either side of you. How did we go? Are we saving any lives today? You hand over a sack of coins, which is promptly seized by one of the large men. Hope that wasn't too much trouble to get your hands on, the woman comments as the coins are counted. Eventually the man nods to the woman and the two men leave, taking the gold. No hard feelings, hey? It's just business. The woman smiles, drawing up her cloak. Suddenly she dashes away, vanishing behind a pile of rolled-up carpets. Afraid that you might just have been hoodwinked, you wander back through the crowds in time to see Kol'Jorn being thrown from a moving wagon. You paid them, he says, standing and brushing himself off. I owe you my life. Kol'Jorn relates that his tale of capture and confinement... Kol'Jorn relates his tale of capture and confinement by the guild. Estrella wasn't with me when I was taken. I don't know what has befallen her.
One has to wonder why a sudden wave of carelessness has overtaken your allies.
A herald enters the marketplace and announces that Captain Estrella Fior, traitor to the Empire, has been captured. She has been sentenced to death by the Emperor himself, the herald continues. Let her fate be an example to all those who would consider defying his will. It won't work, interrupts a commoner. The more executions he hands out, the more the free people will rebel. The Emperor is cracking down on the lawlessness running rampant in the city. Oh, Jesus Christ, sorry. The Emperor is cracking down on the lawlessness running rampant in this city, the herald responds. And you sound like a rebel yourself! Discreet inquiries lead you to learn that Estrella is being held in a remote Empire stronghold, but nobody claims knowledge of where it is. How will we ever rescue Estrella if we cannot even find her? Ariadne asks in anguish. Okay. As you trundle along in your horse-drawn carriage, you catch a glimpse of some cheeky gnomes fleeing with your weapon. You chase them on foot until they dive into a burrow. You take a peek into their hidey hole and discover they have quite a cache of weapons in their lair. You reach your arm into the hole. I kinda don't want to lose that oh, fuck. Good. Don't hurt us! They cry. They hand you back your stolen item. The little round door slams shut as you draw your weapon from their burrow. I kind of fail to see how that card is worth a damn. It's just like a shuffle.
Continue to involve yourself in northern affairs. Imagine what you could have achieved if you devoted yourself to study.
Ursus, a young warrior from the north, proposes a hunting contest. This farmer kindly saved my boy instead of handing him to the Empire. I will rid the land of the boars destroying his crops in thanks. Who will be a worthy opponent? As you step forward to accept the challenge, the farmer warns, not only have they been wreaking havoc on my fields, a huge white beast ate one of my lambs. I hacked off one of his tusks, but he still roams. You and Ursus shake hands before heading into the fields, paying heed to the gnarly grunts echoing in the distance. We're going on a raid. A Hogger raid. 50-man Hogger raid. Meet at Goldshire. Yeah. Following its huge tracks, you find the monstrous white boar by the river. You stealthily approach as he sharpens his single tusk on a boulder. When he senses your presence, he grunts in the common tongue with a strange, lilted accent.
Spare this old blood, blessed mortal.
I'll spare him. You lower your sword. The boar watches you with sad red eyes before bowing, or cautiously. You continue hunting until the sun begins to set, then haul your kills back into the farmhouse. Ursus paces in front of a pile of dead beasts as the farmer tallies your kills. Wow. That's some fucking hot garbage. Ursus has you beat by 6 beasts. Ursus is the winner, the farmer announces. I think I'm doing wrong voices here. I'm grateful to you both. My fields will be safe once more, says the farmer, embracing his precious flock of sheep. I didn't get any food from that. I could kind of really use some food. I'm gonna, I gotta sell that. One day you come across a man wrapped in a torn grey cloak, sitting on a rock by the path through the sparse woods. Greetings, mortal, Theophilus utters as you stop. The next element of your magical salvation is approaching. He begins without bothering to stand. You will meet a traveler on the outskirts of the forest. Trade with him to obtain the feather of an angel. Do not reveal what use you will have for it. I wish you luck. Theophilus sits quietly as you continue on. Not long later, you meet a dwarf, bristling with bags, sacks, and other knickknacks. Let's trade, he suggests. I'm sure we can come to a mutually beneficial transaction. Trade for an angel feather. As it happens, I do have an angel feather that I traded from a kobold mystic in the western provinces. Do you need it for anything in particular? The dwarf asks shrewdly. You begin the negotiation. You manage to convince the dwarf that the feather is probably a fake, worth little more than a few beads and the torn half of a map you find in your pack. The dwarf is barely out of sight when Theophilus is suddenly beside you, saying, "That dwarf has never had such a valuable prize in his possession, and perhaps never will again. But now, it is time for the spell to be completed." Theophilus takes the feather and adds it to the spell concoction. The vial gives a silent, bright flash, then returns to normal. "At last!" Theophilus cries in excitement. "After all these years, I will be free!" You lunge forward, reaching for the vial, but Theophilus is already opening it. Did I just get betrayed? No! Theophilus cries as you wrestle the vial from his grasp. "Please, mortal, you don't understand. This is my only chance for freedom." Explain yourself. "I was once like you, full of purpose and an inflated sense of destiny," Theophilus says bitterly. "I dared to stake my soul on a card game. I have been enslaved since before the Empire formed, before even the Dragon Slayers waged their war. I have seen and done things that would drive you to madness. Without the vial, I shall suffer countless lifetimes more." I think I know what I want to do, but I'm going to have the chat vote on it a little bit. It's curious to see what you guys think. Okay, it's like 50-50. I'm kind of torn too, but I'm gonna give it to him. "You give it to me willingly? I do not know your every deed or exploit, hero, but I do know that this is the greatest mercy you will ever perform." Theophilus drinks the contents of the vial. "I now have one last game to play, that I may win my freedom," he says as he fades away. You return to the fine mansion of Lord Apollyon and are granted by an immediate audience. "You say that another of your friends is in peril? How fascinating! I see you still bear the marks of battle yourself," Apollyon remarks, sending his butler for a healing potion. "How goes your quest to save Estrella?" Lord Apollyon asks. Change topic. "Of course," Apollyon says. "Shall we discuss your past exploits once more? Tell me more about that ogre you encountered." You talk at length of your adventures, and before you realize, several hours have passed. There is no way to get there. The card— oh, the card is all the way to the right. I have no choice. I need his help. "It is no trivial thing you wish to gamble for this day," Apollyon says, looking concerned. "Even I cannot sway the Emperor's decision on your friend, and helping you intervene would be tantamount to treason. Perhaps if you win, then I could give you the means to rescue your friend," Apollyon concedes. "But if I were to make such a gamble, then you must risk something equally significant." Apollyon leans forward, fixing you with his gaze. "If I win, you must serve me until I release you. Or until I die, of course." Apollyon smiles softly at the suggestion. "Well, champion?" Apollyon asks, clearly eager to begin the game. "Are you willing to gamble one life for another?" Apollyon smiles wickedly and deals the cards. And now you are mine, Apollyon says, standing. He gestures for you to rise, and you feel unnaturally compelled to do so. Follow me, hero, and we shall see what mischief we can put your talents to now. Apollyon leads you through a door etched in strange symbols, down a long, long set of stairs into darkness. Your old life and the fate of the Empire is left behind forever. Really?
The impossible
I thought for
seems out of
sure.
your grasp, at least for now.
I thought for sure that that little dude was gonna come back and save me. You need a specific card for this mission. It's impossible to let Theophilus have the vial and win this mission with the cards you have now. So, my optimal thing is to get that card, right? Or I should have drank, okay, so what you're saying is, if I drank the potion, I would have been fine. However, if I get that card, then I can give it to the dude. What's the point of saving the dude?
Are you confused?
Yes.
Complete these challenges and we will be ready to face the usurper.
Like, why would I want to save the dude? I would imagine it leads to some kind of reward, right? It's a gold. Oh, that's the gold token. Okay, so I got spoiled a little. That's okay. I wanted that spoiler. That's a good one. I mean, the dude's name was Apollyon. It's not like I didn't expect him to be the devil. But a sense of pride and accomplishment, you say? That's cool. Well, listen, next time I do this, I know what to do. I'm gonna come back to it. I don't have to read everything, right? So we can just go into it. What I will do, though, is I'll try to have the card. So I gotta stop now, unfortunately. That was like an hour-long mission, and it ended in failure. It's kind of fucked up. But it'll go a lot quicker next time, and hopefully I can save that dude. But goddamn, that sucked.